Welcome back, everyone, to our second episode of Shoe Reviews by David Lamb. I actually don't know what we're going to title this or what we're going to call this episode series. If you have a good idea, leave it in the comments. My name is Tony.
I'm David Lamb.
And we are excited to give you some fun content. Like we said last episode, we want this content to be timely. And right now, or I guess maybe in 2 weeks, UTMB is happening. And both of us are going out to UTMB. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about the different type of terrain you will experience at UTMB and the kinds of shoes you might want to wear for that. So David, what should we expect when we go to the Alps? What kind of terrain are we looking at?
Yeah, I think the Alps, mainly like in Chamonix and where UTMB takes place, you have these big mountains, kind of more technical terrain, steep, very steep stuff. And so I think what becomes important in a shoe that you decide to bring is something that has really good traction. So like really good kind of lug patterns, a really good lockdown, really good cushion, because I think there's just no way of putting together shorter runs out there. You're just gonna find yourself on your feet for a long time exploring these mountains. And yeah, I think and just kind of the durability of the shoe is really important because again, if you're finding yourself on really off-camber terrain, it's very aggressive to the integrity of the shoe because your foot sits in the shoe, and if you push down at an angle, it's tugging at that angle. So if you don't have a shoe that's very durable, it becomes problematic, especially if you're at a very kind of mountainous, alpine-ish type of terrain. So I think having, checking those boxes is what's really important.
Okay, great. So what have you assembled here for us?
Yeah, I think what I have here are shoes that are check all those boxes, right? There's a good amount of cushion in all of these. The lockdowns are really good. The uppers are made of really strong materials. And then also, a couple of unique things about each shoe that I think stand out above the rest. And if I were to have kind of a quiver to bring to Chamonix or to UTMB with me, it would probably look something like this in my suitcase.
Okay, so take us through.
Yeah, first, let's just go from left to right. I mean, this shoe, one of my favorite shoes, it's the Norda 001s. Yeah, the Norda 001s. I wore these at Western States, do the majority of my kind of training miles in this. What can't I say about the shoe? I think it's built on, they somehow got Vibram to make them a midsole material, which, if you kind of know the inner workings of Vibram, they're kind of picky about what they do. They'll make the outsole for any shoe company mostly, but the midsole material, it's amazing that they did that for Norda. Yeah, and the Norda shoe, it's made of a Dyneema upper, which is, if you're kind of in the backpacking or climbing world, Dyneema shouldn't be any foreign material to you. It's a very strong fabric. It's stronger than the steel, I think.
Whoa.
So yeah, I mean, this shoe apparently will work its way up to 1,000 miles and not kind of show it.
How many miles do you think you got on this now? It looks pretty well used.
Yeah, this one, I'm currently 300 miles into the shoe.
That's great for 300 miles.
Yeah, I think with training, it's a little wet because I wore it this morning. That's how much I love this shoe. Yeah, it's a little wet, but yeah, I wore these for a big chunk of Western States. I had to change my shoes a few times, but this shoe definitely was the shoe that I started with, and it did super well. It uses kind of these V-shaped lug patterns from Vibram's light base. Vibram light base is found in a lot of shoes, and it kind of it's their lightest material, so and it's also very durable, and it has these little rubber nodes that are, I think, for terrain that you will find UTMB. You're just climbing up these steep mountains, and you're just gonna need that traction, and it's one more level of safety to kind of account for.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I really like this shoe. I like the first version. The second version looks awesome. They kind of listened to the feedback that they did on the first version, and I think they changed it in the V2, but not so much that it took away from the parts about the V1 that people like. This is the Tecton X2 by HOKA, and it uses this Vibram light-based Mega Grip, a very kind of skeletal version of it. I think it's just to shave weight. A lot of companies will expose the foam on a shoe. A shoe like the Norda one, they don't really care because the shoe's made to go long, it's made to be durable, and it's made to kind of have more material for the durability. But the shoe is kind of lightweight, but somehow still very durable. It uses HOKA's ProFly midsole, which is like this dual density foam thing they do, and it feels really cool under the foot. And it has half a carbon plate that goes from the middle of the foot to about here, and it's the carbon plate's broken up in two. What I've always said about the shoe is like I don't know why they put a carbon plate in it. Maybe it's to jack up the price, but honestly, it doesn't need a carbon plate.
It's just a great shoe in its own right.
It's a great shoe in its own right, and it doesn't need it. The upper, they did change its material. I think they started using matrix again, which is one of my favorite materials. Like one of the best trail shoes of all time is the HOKA Evo Speed Goat. If you know, you know. If you ask anybody, they love that shoe, and it uses the matrix upper. It's a very durable, lightweight upper, and this shoe kind of started using it again because for a while they lost that partnership, and now they're back. But yeah, I think just the right amount of foam, just the right amount of softness, and I just feel I brought these I wouldn't say the Alps. I haven't brought the shoe to the Alps, but I brought them to very comparable mountainous terrain, and it does amazingly well.
Awesome.
This next shoe, the Altra Mont Blanc Boa edition. I love BOA on shoes, I think, but the rule is you got to have the dual BOA. Another shoe company that does it, it's La Sportiva. They make really good shoes that do that. Speedland, I love Speedland shoes. This one, I wore this to finish up 100K once. And I guess the theme is the Vibram light base outsole. A lot of shoe companies do it, and what I just told Tony is they'll kind of scatter it across the outsole to shave off weight. And this shoe uses, I actually wrote a review for this shoe on Blister Review.
Oh, great.
But this shoe uses the kind of same foam that you'll find in the Ultra Touring. But back to the BOA, I think having the dual BOA is so nice because you can get in and out of the shoe really quickly. So you find some stones get in the shoe, you could do that. If you find an alpine lake that you want to hop into, you could do that. And it just kind of, you can dial in, no pun intended, but you could dial in the fit so much better. Incrementally, you just kind of keep doing that. And obviously as your feet swell during an ultra or you're out in the mountains for a while, you can kind of adjust it accordingly.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I think, some people don't like the way it looks. I think it's a pretty cool looking shoe.
I actually like the way it looks.
Yeah, it stands out. And I know Jimmy Elam ran all of UTMB last year or 2 years ago in this shoe. Does really well. So, if it works for him, for sure, it might work for us.
I just got a pair of the laced version of the Mont Blancs, and I'm really into them.
Yeah. The laced version is, it's kind of hit or miss. It's very polarizing. It's built on the same last. For me, it didn't work for me just because I just couldn't get the fit right. I just felt like at any time I was gonna roll my ankle. Amanda Basham had a good tip. She said change out the laces. So she's a sponsored athlete with Ultra, and she switched out the laces, and they seem to work for her. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Yeah, last shoe. If this is the shoe of the GOAT, Courtney Dauwalter. This is her favorite shoe, and this is the shoe that has propelled her to some amazing performances. And I'm not Courtney Dauwalter, but I love the shoe, and I love the shoe because it hasn't changed that much from the iterations. This one is the S-Lab Ultra 3. I've done the Quad Dipsy and the S-Lab Ultra 2. I just love the shoe. I think
no Vibram.
No Vibram. So it uses Salomon's proprietary Contra Grip, which is a very strong. The lugs are very tight and strong, which is great because it bites onto any trail that you might find yourself into. And then it has Salomon's kind of what people know for their trail shoes is this quick lacing system. Not as good in terms of adjusting and readjusting as a BOA, but I think for lockdown, that's the theme of being at UTMB or out in the mountains in the Alps is that you want a shoe that locks your foot down and makes you feel safe. And this shoe kind of does that. It's a very great race shoe. adventure shoe. Man, I've seen people bring these like close to like 1,000 miles and they look great.
Cool.
I would say the only one downside of it is this part. It really kind of bites a lot of people's Achilles, and as it did mine. So
I did that as well.
yeah. And the problem is that when you do a quick lace system, the tightening all happens up in the top, and so like that area digs into your foot a little more. But over time, and with adjusting your socks and stuff like that, you can get the fit right to how you like it, and then the shoe becomes amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I also like this shoe as a really good transition from road to trail, which is, if you know the UTMB course is not just pure mountains, you're actually running on the road a lot. So to have a shoe kind of does well and across like kind of differing terrains, I think having something like this in your quiver would be very beneficial.
Awesome. Cool. And so you're going out to UTMB and you are just going to be running around, enjoying the trails. Yeah. You're bringing this one, I imagine.
Yes.
You'll bring that shoe. Are you bringing anything else?
Yeah, I think I'll do these and probably the HOKA Tecton X2s. I like the way it looks. It transitions well as a lifestyle shoe, I think. I don't know, I kind of like the way it looks. And I've just always liked the way it felt under my feet. I imagine myself running uphill very fast in them, and for some reason they support that, and I like it for that reason. So
cool.
Yeah, I think if I were to have like a two shoe quiver, these two would probably be it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think I'm really excited to head out to UTMB. I know you are too.
Yep.
Obviously, shoes are very important. What you bring kind of will dictate your experience, because if you're bringing a shoe that's not right for the terrain, you're just gonna have a really tough time being out there and not enjoying your time, because it all starts.
Steep.
It all starts with the feet. And if you don't trust what you have on your feet, then it kind of ruins the experience a lot of the time. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. Well, that's it for our second episode. If you liked this one, please let us know. If you have any ideas of what you'd like to see, please let us know that in the comments below. Also, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button.
Heck yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time.
There you go.